you know, in issue 3 of the Steven Universe comics, we get a little insight of how Greg is dealing with the loss of Rose Quartz. The comic begins with Greg preparing to take Steven on a picnic. While he's getting ready, Greg is thinking about how amazing the crystal gems are and how they're always protecting humanity. Steven shows up for their picnic, but unfortunately, before they're able to depart, Steven sees the crystal gems off on an adventure and leaves Greg behind. While Steven is gone, Greg pops into the Big Donut and sees that there is a flyer for an open mic in which he's pretty interested in. Greg then ends up waiting the entire night before Steven eventually comes back, and by the time he does, he's too tired to actually have their picnic. While Steven is sleeping, Greg ends up playing his guitar, reminiscing of his old life, and of course reminiscing about Rose. Unfortunately, a gem monster attacks his car, and the crystal gems show up. While the gems are there, Greg asks Garnet if Steven is doing an okay job, and Garnet says that he's doing great. Eventually, it's the open mic night at the Big Donut, and Greg is there to play his song. While this is happening, Steven and the crystal gems are still trying to find the gem monster, which of course is attracted by music. While Greg is playing his song, the gem monster ends up going into the Big Donut and causing a big to-do. Steven runs over to Greg as he's playing his song, and the two of them end up strumming a chord that's off-tune, which actually destroys the monster. Steven thinks Greg is upset about the monster, but in reality, he's just upset that Steven played a bad chord, saying that him and Steven are going to start music lessons.